Now, how chaotic is Owen going to be? Why do I keep wanting to say Odin? It's Owen. May 13th, just record court number 4.
Now that the Sweet Buns has arrived, this court is back in session. Time to get this guy high off his horse, I guess.
Go on, Owendo. Eat up. Chop. Nice flavor. You can really taste the sake.
Everyone's just gonna be drunk for the rest of the trial.
Gulp. That was delicious.
Yes, a unique sweetness and faint aroma of sake. Yet I hardly think that anyone could pass out from eating something like this. What's the matter, Uendo? You're not afraid of a tiny manju, are you?
Oh, are you scared of how many calories it has?
Don't be ridiculous. A sweet little snack like this couldn't possibly... I mean, it could never. Less bleeding and more eating, witness. Fine, whatever. See?
Oh, there he is.
I told you. It don't infect me in the slightest. We might be a little lightweight. But come on. Nobody's that lightweight. Seriously? Nobody gets drunk like that.
Oh. Here he is. Here we go. It looks like it worked. Oh my, witness! Please tell the court your name and occupation.
Okay. Not what I was expecting. Oh. Oh. My name is Owen. I'm 5.
What? Oh no. You're 5 years old.
Huh? Or maybe 5 is when 5 years ago is when this personality came out? Maybe? Am I in trouble? Please don't yell at me.
So he's Owendo's 4th personality?
I hardly think a child like him could have a motive to murder the victim. And even if he had a motive, could he have actually committed the murder?
That's a very good point. Owen does appear to be very timid and weak.
It seems the defense was hoping this hidden personality would be the real killer. But now that he's standing here before us, it is clear that none of Uendo's personalities can be the killer.
Where can I even go from here?
Well, we gotta start by asking them their testimony, because they were very clearly there that night. Shisho.
Owen, do you know something about what happened to your master? Come on, buddy. Won't you tell Auntie Athena what happened? Oh, that's actually a thing in Japan.
What a scary lady.
I'm not scary. Look at Auntie's big smile. Tell me about your master, please. Please, with sugar on top.
Okay. Shisha was super nice. He always played with me. Just like Just like a real grandpa. I love Shisho. I feel like this is an act. I feel like this is Owen acting here.
Yeah.
Athena, do you sense anything behind his words?
I sense a sadness. Sadness so pure it's heart-rending, but no discord. Prosecutor said Mally is right. Owen isn't the killer.
But then, don't you find it odd?
Find what odd?
Let's review what we've learned so far. Uendo rearranged the Kurita cards to pin the blame on Bucky.
Well, that's because the original message implicated Owen. But Owen is only 5 years old and absolutely adores Master Tornado.
Exactly. The other personalities also have no motive for murder. If Owen isn't the true culprit, the person who first laid the cards.
Probably wouldn't have been Master Tornado. So then, who did it? Defense? Did the appearance of Owen help you figure anything out? Yes, Your Honor. I now know who it was that first laid out the Kurita cards. But I thought it was the victim, right?
I don't even think that was even possible at all.
No, Your Honor. I don't believe it was. Someone had to know about his personality, though.
Yeah, someone who knew the personality and is obviously not our client had to lay him out. It would have to be the true killer.
I believe the person who laid out the cards is the very person who killed Tyson Tornado.
How quickly you move to a new target when your Owen theory proves false. You Pokunkin.
I don't know what a Pokemon is, but I know I'm definitely not one. And before you start with the sermons, why don't you hear me out?
Yeah, it was just a theory, sir. Now that we can see our theory is not true, we have a new one. Because our theory being disproven proves something else.
Yeah, let's see what the defense is reading. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. But if you're bluffing, I won't go easy on you. I understand, Your Honor. Now please recall the original crime scene. Who did the Kurita cards name when the scene was discovered? Let's see. I believe they implicated the defendant, Bucky Wet. That's right. But then we found that the message originally read Owen the Fourth. Which implicated the young boy, Owen. Exactly, and the person who rearranged the cards was undoubtedly Uendo.
Uendo may have kept silent, but we can be sure he already knew his master was dead. His tampering with the crime scene, using the TV, all but proves it. The reason Uendo rearranged the Kurita cards and moved the TV was because he saw Owen the Fourth's message and was convinced Owen had committed a crime.
Right on, Prosecutor Blackwell. It would seem that Owen and the other three personalities don't share the same memory. Uendo feared that Owen had killed Master Tornado, so he tried to hide Owen from us.
Oh. But it turns out, Owen is but a 5-year-old child, incapable of hurting a fly. Let alone his beloved master.
So So naturally, the culprit must be somebody else. And this somebody else, the true killer, tried to pin the crime on Owen. I see. That does make sense.
Objection.
This is naught but conjecture, composed of half-truths and fantasy. Who then do you maintain murdered the victim?
I believe Owen might know something about that.
Objection.
I refuse to allow such impromptu testimony, and from a 5-year-old no less. Nayuta, your country literally accused an 11-year-old of a murder, so 5-year-old is not much of a stretch in your country, really. Such a young child is incapable of producing anything coherent.
Objection!
But children have taken this stand before.
Mm-hmm. Athena literally has. I saw it. I saw Shisho getting...
You know what I think happened? I think our lovely, lovely girl, aka Whoopee Cushions, brought out Owen the fourth personality, and because she is an entertainer, especially one with balloons, she was able to manipulate him in some way. But oh yeah, by the way, I've been meaning to. I've been griping about the how. I think she somehow blew up a balloon and lodged it in his throat, and then was able to deflate it and pull out. That's how I think it happened. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Oh my, is this true? If so, we must have Owen testify immediately. Don't you agree, prosecutor said Maddie. He's gonna say it's all right, Owen. Go and tell us what you know.
Shisho was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shisho's face, getting it all red.
What? Okay.
I couldn't move at all. I was so scared. I passed out.
But he wasn't bleeding. He was. This is eyewitness testimony from the moment of the murder.
Yeah, it doesn't have any report of any like other injuries on him. So if it was blood, which I don't think it was, I think what Owen saw is actually the broth, because the broth does look red like blood.
Owen, can you tell us anything else about what you saw?
I was so scared. Oh, so scared.
Owen! His emotions are spiraling out of control. Something must have really frightened him.
Now we get to the mood matrix. Now we can have mood matrix. Nice.
Another mood matrix. 2 mood matrices in one trial. I love it. Is he all right? His emotions are running wild because he's trying to recall something frightening to him. I recommend the therapy session right away. I see. Yes, please do whatever you can to help the poor boy. Will do, Your Honor. Ooh, I'm gonna turn up the game audio. I fucking love this.
Oh, I didn't mean to click. Oh, well.
Fear. He's scared of something.
Shisho was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shisho's face, getting it all red. Couldn't move at all. So scared I passed out. Okay, so it's definitely going to just be the blood on the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blood was dripping down onto Shisho's face. Dripping down onto. That means that there was blood from above, right?
Hmm. Blood? I don't remember seeing any blood in the crime scene photos. Besides, if the victim was standing upright, how could blood drip down onto his face?
As I expected, all we managed to obtain from this child is a tale he dreamt up.
I guess it's a little weird for blood to drip down on the victim's face if he was standing up. Unless it dripped down from the ceiling or something? What do you think, Simon?
I don't know. Owen's one confused and upset kid right now. So who knows how accurate his memory is. Maybe it's time for that thing instead.
Huh? Thing.
That thing you and your cohorts do. What do you call it? Rotate your thinking about?
Oh, you mean turn your thinking around?
Yeah, because I don't think it's blood, I think it's broth.
I definitely think it's broth too.
Yes, whatever. It's the same thing either way.
No, it isn't. Who ever heard of rotating your thinking? I mean, rotate is... Hey, wait a minute.
Thank you, Athena. Thank you for realizing Simon's actually correct. What?
You know what, Simon? In this case, I think rotate might just work perfectly well.
Come again.
All I have to do is rotate things by 90 degrees.
So he was laying flat on the ground? Holding a knife?
If you passed out, you fell on the... Like, if you're anyone passing out, right, you're either laying on the ground, right? So I think, you know who in his drunk stupor became the 5-year-old kid. The kid looked up and then probably saw the scene as if he didn't know he was rotating to begin with.
Oh, yeah, that could be a thing too. But how does still in that point? How does the whatever red get on Taifu's face?
I still believe it's one of the beer cans. You know, the shh, right? The other thing is the way he was facing is he was in his vision. He was facing to the left this way, right? Like he was faced that way. So if you rotate 90, he's either on the floor or he's on the roof, which would be a little weird, right?
But if he was on the roof, how would it tie? How would blood be dripping?
I think he passed out and he literally was on the floor looking up at him and he was standing up. It's a little weird. It's either that or he's on the ground. When he saw his master, Owen must have been...
So it's talking about Owen
1
here.
or 3.
So I think laying on the floor makes more sense.
Owen must have been lying on the floor when he witnessed his master's murder. What? That's the conclusion I arrived at when I rotated my thinking by 90 degrees. Which means that all of the visuals in my matrix were off by 90 degrees. And? This means Master Tornado was also lying on the floor, which solves another mystery. And which mystery is that? The mystery of how blood could have been dripping onto the victim's face. It becomes much easier to imagine now that it could happen if he was lying down. Like someone bleeding onto Master Tornado from somewhere up above him.
I feel like they would have detected blood on his body, though. I remember now. Somebody was sitting up on top of Shisho.
Only 70. So trying to recall his master's bloody killer is what spooked Owen originally. The blood that stained the victim's face in red came from the person sitting on top of him. The victim was holding a knife, so he likely nicked his attacker when he was fighting back.
This means his assailant was injured on their face somewhere. Like the forehead, perhaps?
Could be why the nose is there.
Could be the nose, or like she has really long bangs covering her forehead. Because he's specifically saying on the forehead. We can't see her forehead.
Yeah. We can't see her forehead. We can't see her neck. Right?
Although, I think I know what Nayuta's gonna do.
Under his headband. Oh, he has a wound there. Yeah.
He has a bandage on his eyebrow.
Damn it.
I think that's where Nayuta's gonna try to push this. This means the assailant was injured. On their face somewhere. Like the forehead, perhaps. I see. So that is what happened. But if I recall correctly, the accused had a fresh bandage on his forehead. Does he not? That injury of Mr. Wet's is conclusive evidence that he committed this murder.
Why?
It seems you dug yourself into a pit you cannot crawl out of. Nayuta, there was no blood found on him. You idiot.
No
You
blood found in the
dummy.
bowl
Yeah, no blood found in the room. Like, piece it together. And I love how he says a pit you can't crawl out of. And it was just like, we're about to crawl out of it, and you're not gonna like it.
No. Even though I figured out the reason for Owen's out of control emotions, all I did was raise further suspicion against my own client. What do I do now? You go to the Moon Matrix and say he was alive.
What's the matter? You aren't thinking of throwing in a towel, are you?
But it looks so bad for Bucky. I mean, he's had a both of motive and opportunity. Plus, he has the injury on his forehead.
Your Honor, I sense that the defense is finally ready to let it go and move on.
Well, Miss Sykes?
We are not done.
I am not moving on. I understand that you want to give up on your client. But I won't allow you to prolong this trial without a good reason. I really don't want to back down. But...
Silence.
Silence! Silence, Gallery. I don't care what you think. Athena, are you having doubts about Bucky's innocence?
Supposed to believe in your client.
We got Simon's music now, let's go.
I wouldn't say that, it's just...
Do you remember what you said to Bucky earlier this morning? Were those just empty words?
Of course not, it's just all the cards are stacked against us.
Are you still stuck on that line of thinking? What? Motive,
It's getting hot in
opportunity,
here, huh, ladies?
and an injury to the forehead.
What?
Is that all it takes to make you stop believing in your client? Tell me again, who are you to Bucky?
I'm his Miss Tickety lawyer. Athena.
Athena! Yeah, he didn't call her Sykes-Dono there. He said Athena. He didn't say Sykes-Dono. He said Athena. Then do your duty and believe in him until the very end.
I will.
Just imagine Simon Blackwell does this to you IRL. He's just like, listen here. You said you would protect him, and you will do just that.
Simon is absolutely right. I'm Bucky's lawyer, and he's depending on me. Defense team, please. No fighting in my courtroom. The defense is ready to resume, Your Honor. Prosecutor Blackwell was just giving me a pep talk, that's all. Thank you, Prosecutor.
I didn't do it for your sake. I want my sweat soba noodles. And if you don't get this not guilty verdict, I will never be happy again. I did it for the future of wet soba.
Yeah, I got it. The defense would now continue with Owen's therapy session. Owen, would you be alright with that?
Okay. So somebody was sitting on top of Shisho, bleeding from their head. And smooching something onto Shisho's face.
That's funny.
What is it?
I still hear discord in Owen's voice. But I don't sense any inconsistencies between his statements and his emotions. And there don't seem to be any contradictions in his testimony itself either.
So that's it, huh?
Did you figure something out?
Your ability to sense emotions is making you focus too much on his feelings, Athena. But there's actually something he's being very vague about in his testimony. If you can clarify what he's feeling uncertain about with some evidence, you should be able to move forward from there.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
I'll give it
point
a
out
try.
the vagueness.
It's either smooshing something, what she's smooshing, or who's doing the bleeding. I'll just update the Moon Agent with the new information, and we'll be ready to go. So I do need to present some evidence on what Owen is being vague about, huh? There we go. She still had blood on his face and a knife in his hand. He was on the floor and somebody was smooshing something into his face. I couldn't move. Whoop. I was doing the voices, I just realized.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through him. You could read him. He's like, whatever.
Couldn't move at all. I was scared I passed out. It's the somebody. Like, what does she have?
Probably the autopsy.
Yeah.
Or maybe we present this and we try, like, maybe it's wanting us to point out what it could have been? Question mark?
I would do that, and I would see if the cellophane matched. I think it's a cellophane. Let's put a name to the thing Owen's uncertain of, shall we? By identifying the murder weapon that was used to suffocate the victim. Fortunately for us, I spy the murder weapon. Right here on the crime scene photo.
And both of us noticed it immediately. Like, once we found out the cause of death of suffocation, you and me zeroed in on the murder weapon immediately. Unfortunately for you, I spy nothing of the sort. And the police did not spy anything of the sort during their investigation either. They're not very bright. Like, they miss the obvious all the time, Nuyuta. Pray tell, where is this murder weapon you see?
You don't see it because it no longer looks that way when it was used as a weapon. This is what the killer pressed into Master Tornado's face.
Okay, it's not using the photo I thought.
Me neither. Wait a minute, let's go through here. Not that. The noodles?
Could it be the glass?
It's the noodles.
Suffocated on noodles. That's why they put his face in the bowl. Perhaps?
What do the noodles start out with? Right, think about the making of soba.
So It's just the noodle itself,
Noodles.
then?
Take that!
The mystery person that Owen saw pressed soba into the victim's face.
But I feel like some of it might have ended up going down his throat and it would have been found in him, right? Although they would have seen soba noodles and been like, he was eating soba, it's fine. Perhaps.
Thereby suffocating him.
I grow weary of your tasteless jokes. How could anyone commit murder with soft, delicate soba? The noodles would instantly fall apart if they were pressed into someone's face.
Yes, I agree. I had a nasty thought. You want to know?
Do I?
Okay, this is gonna be weird, but what if she just stuffed the dough down her and then like fed it to the dog? And like no one would notice with her fluffy like, you know, get the dough, you make some of the noodles, but you have excess.
Earl, I've told you this before, and I will say it again.
she was
Get
feeding
your
the
mind
dog.
out of the gutter. Take your mind out of that gutter right now.
I'm just saying, like, the
Get
people
out of
there
the
are very
gutter.
great at-
Out of the gutter, Earl.
What? You'll explain your theory at once, Miss Sykes. Killmaster Tornado, the culprit must have smothered him with uncut soba dough.
Uncut, or it could be bald. I think
Has to be
both could work in a way.
The culprit must have used the soba before it was cut into noodles. In other words, the murder weapon was raw soba dough. What? Order in the court. Yeah, soba dough could definitely be used to suffocate someone. Could. Oh yeah, right, prosecutor said, Maddie?
I was just letting the soul of the victim know that the accused will finally face justice thanks to this foolish lawyer before me.
Huh? Talking about?
Allow me to summarize your statements. The accused was killing the victim when he was slashed in the face by the victim's knife. The weapon he used to suffocate the victim was soba dough from in the dressing room. Then he disposed of the murder weapon by cutting soba dough into noodles. Ugh! Why you smarring? Afterwards, the accused put the victim's face into the bowl of soba and broth to wash the blood that had dripped onto the victim's face from his own. And there you have it, the true sequence of events behind this foul affair.
Now wait just a minute. I never once said that Mr. Wet was the culprit.
But who but the accused knows how to cut dough into noodles? Defense.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very good point, prosecutor said, Maddie.
He acts like people just can't cut stuff. Like, oh, no one has to cut soba noodles but to defense. Hello. All you do is just take a knife. Whoop. Done. Anyone can cut.
I heard that cutting soba dough into uniform noodles requires considerable training.
Well, this is different dough
But
altogether.
then, what about the dying message? How do you explain that? The defendant wouldn't have known about Uendo's Owen personnel.
Perhaps the victims was simply playing with the cards, and they hold no other meaning.
Muddy.
There's
Muddy diet.
no way it just happened to say Owen the Fourth. Absolutely not. Perhaps he spelled out Owen's last name in jest sometime before the murder.
That's true. From Owen's testimony, it's clear that Master Tornado cared for the boy. Oh, it appears we've arrived at a compelling conclusion.
No, we haven't.
Taken together, all of these points paint a convincing picture of the defendant's guilt.
Hold it!
Oh, and is there anything else you could tell us? It doesn't matter how small of a detail, anything more.
Oh, you're scaring me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Owen. Auntie Athena didn't mean to raise her voice. I have to be gentler with him. I can't forget he's only 5 years old. No need to be scared, okay, sweetie? Just tell us anything you can remember.
Well, when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me, bleeding from their head.
Oh, and you saw the killer's face? Oops, I did it again.
Oops, I did it again.
So who was it, Owen? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't know who it was.
I'm picking up some noise. That means there's still something to uncover in Owen's testimony.
I don't know what Owen saw, but suffice it to say, we are analyzing the dreams of a child. You've wasted enough of our time, defense. Let it go and move on.
No, there's still discord in Owen's heart that needs to be addressed. Therefore, I can't give in here. Owen, do you think you continue your testimony for us?
Okay.
I'll enter the new info and run an update then.
Let's see, what do we got here? Happy?
It's a clown! It's a clown!
Got it!
Despite witnessing the culprit's terrible crime firsthand, Owen experienced a positive feeling, one of relief?
The person the witness saw was no stranger. Rather, it was the accused. Therefore, it is only natural that he felt some level of relief when he saw a familiar face. Defense, end this madness and sully your soul no more.
Owen, who did you see?
Really now? That's a nice smell. I love the smell of that perfume. It is gonna be Balloon Lady. Smell of
You could do it. Try to remember, Owen.
oh, the smell of
And he had a long fall. Owen!
well, he's on pillows, so.
It seems Owen is now resting in the infirmary. They certainly had their hands full today now. Let's continue with the trial.
Despite Owen's testimony, it is the opinion of this humble servant of the Holy Mother that this child's words were insufficient to clear the accused of suspicion.
But what about the scent of perfume Owen mentioned? I believe it's a clue that will lead us to the true culprit. But there are thousands of perfumes in the world.
Could even be the scent of hair product the accused uses.
He does have one amazing hairstyle, or so that's certainly possible.
The witness is a 5-year-old boy. He cannot tell the difference between conventional perfumes and hair products.
Oh, why couldn't you have gone for a crew cut or something, Bucky?
What's more, the only person who can cut soba noodles with such precision is the accused, and no other. What if her motive is that she's actually a soba master and she got scammed out of being the next owner?
Like what, number 3 or?
Well, maybe she was maybe she's like his older sister or something weird, and like she was supposed to inherit the shop, but he got it instead? Question mark.
Oh man, how am I supposed to argue with that?
And so the person Owen saw at the scene of the crime can only be the accused, Bucky Wet. Hold it, man. What the?
Here he is again.
I knew it. I knew it was him. Hey. I never use hair products or anything with the smell. If I wore something like that, that smell would get into the soba. Boom, kick it. This is giving everyone soba.
Mr. Wet, is this supposed to be resting in the infirmary?
Whatever. Do you think my soba is something of perfume? Try that chilled soba for yourself and see.
I believe we have no choice but to try it. Strictly for examination purposes, of course. Now then, let's dig in, shall we? They're snacking this trial. Holy shit.
Yep.
That was delightful. Ahem. Well, I'm satisfied there are no traces of hair products or perfumes in what Mr. Wet's soba. First, sweet bean buns, and now savory special soba. Savory soba. What is it? I got cut out. What a delectable trial this has been.
The texture is different from the soba I had the other day. It reminds me of a dish in Korean called banupun. What you think, Miss Chickadee? My soba's pretty good, isn't it?
It's so delicious. Don't you think so, Simon?
It so pales in comparison to his late father's cuisine. Simon, why you always gotta be so hard on me?
Bailiff, take the defendant back to the infirmary at once for some rest.
Rest? I ain't a lump of plain old Weirdo dough, you know? I'm fresh like my soba. You don't have soba dough rest, but about 3 freshes of soba. Grind the seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles.
I suppose they should check if those noodles are boiled or not. Good grief, what a defendant! At least Bucky wasn't the source of the perfume smell. Wait, smelly perfume.
Looks like you remembered something.
The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of a certain somebody. Oh, and who might that be? There's only one person that comes to mind. The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of this person.
Has to be her.
Yeah.
Take that!
Gale Tornado. Huh, yes. She did smell very nice, did she?
Just a moment, defense. You would throw suspicion on Geru now, because of a scent. Your Honor, there is no need to go along with this ever-changing claims of the defense.
I suppose their claims have been awfully inconsistent. But Gale couldn't have been at the crime scene. Yes, but you'll get to see those balloons of hers if we call her back to the witness stand.
Athena, stop! How vulgar. His Honor is not interested in such things.
Oh, he very much is. Settling the matter of her balloons aside entirely, I do believe it's appropriate to ask Gale some questions, given the circumstances.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with her balloons, of course. Thank you, Your Honor.
Also, she barely talked, too, when we first had her in here. That's why I became suspicious of her, like, she wasn't here for much, and there's gotta be more. There's no way they create this airy character and just hardly use her. There's no way. Pokanka!